Hello everybody, thank you for coming back to the channel and to this build of the Antonov, an RC conversion, and in the middle of the tissue covering. So last time I left you that I was still doing the lower wings. I still got the one lower wing going on. I don't know if you can see it, but it's quite wrinkled. I think if I leave it overnight or a couple more hours it'll actually stretch out a little bit. It's got two layers of the water and glue. I also left you with the boo-boo that I made with the top wing, that instead of clear lacquer I'd actually painted it. I then finally decided to paint it all around, which I think looks quite good. And actually the challenge is that now I kind of like it. It looks actually quite good. You can't see the structure inside, which I also like to see. But on the other hand, you can see it through somehow. No? You see the shape of the ribs coming through. So my challenge, as I say, is that I like it so much that I would like to use it again, do the same thing, but on the fuselage. My idea was actually to cover the top and the bottom part in the white, in the standard white, that now you can't see because I painted the wing, which is the white tissue, and then to put a stripe of blue down the middle, somehow to break it and to make it a little bit less monotone. But now what I'm thinking of doing is making silver top and bottom and the stripe of blue. So the challenge is, how do I do it without getting paint everywhere? So I need to do probably some covering up and some masking. So it's a different challenge, but a good problem to have, I would say. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to start to cover the top part of the fuselage with the white tissue. Be cutting out sections, putting it on, and once it's on, I'll probably do then the bottom side, and then I've got to cover up all the electronics and the wheels and everything that I don't get it painted. Then I would paint it over with a silver color, and then I would go and put on the blue stripe in the middle. So actually quite a big project in itself, but a way of maybe making the tissue covering a little bit more entertaining for myself at least. So first thing, as I say, put white tissue on the top of the fuselage, maybe until this line. Here's where the whole tail assembly will come, and I believe, yes, and maybe underneath it I might actually make it also blue afterwards. I'm not sure. Let's see how I did, because I still have to put on the tail assembly. So let me start with that, and I'll keep you posted with updates. Maybe just before, another thing is, I got the red ailerons. I just painted over on the wood also with a little bit of red paint. It's still a little bit wet, so that when it does move, then it doesn't show the bare wood basically, but just a detail. It's good to look at details. It's also part of the fun. So an update as usual. So as you can see, I've already put the tissue on the top part of the fuselage just by going in by panels. I'm a little bit worried because I did not glue them in between, so I might need to put in the brush with some water glue mix in between. Now the next challenge in theory is to do the underside. Let's see if I turn it around. I've got to be careful because the wings are attached, at least hanging, so I've got to do the underside. But before I do that, what I'm thinking I'm going to do is, as I want to paint it grey also as I did with the wings, I need to mask things out. So I need to mask a lot of things, like the wheels, the landing gear wires. It's okay if they turn silver, grey, metallic. The whole nose part has to be covered, all the engine, I'll probably remove the propeller, all the engine electronics and things like that, the servos inside, and then also the windows. Like from the outside it's easy to mask that off, but how to do it from the inside, right? So what I'm thinking of doing is somehow stuff tissues, paper, anything, like soft maybe from kitchen towels and toilet paper into the fuselage, that it somehow protects the windows from the inside. And then once I have that, do the tissue on the underside, and once I have that, then do the painting and the shrinking. So a bit of a different turn of events with the project. So here's Antonov lying on its side. What I've been doing, and I've got to be careful, I've been putting the tissue on the underside. It's still a little bit wet, I don't know if you can see it. I leave some opening of course for the wings. I've got them to figure out, once the wings are on, how to connect them to the fuselage, and not perfect I would say, but hopefully good enough. So the next step is then going to be to mask everything off. I'll take the propeller off, mask the whole engine part. I've started to put some masking already over the windows, and I've stuffed some tissue paper in into the fuselage to protect the inside of the windows. Then I have to wrap up the lower wings that are hanging here awkwardly. You can see. Hope I can get all this unknotted somehow. Then put it in a box and spray. But before I'll shrink it probably. I'll try to shrink the tissue first, and then I'll do then the spraying. So that might be then coming later today or tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see how we're doing with time. Anyhow, I can't show you anything because it's too big, but there it is. So I've got to admit that this project is a bit tiring. It's a big one for me. I've done the masking of the majority of the fuselage. This part that is not masked, actually I'll then tissue it with blue, because I believe the blue tissue will actually do quite a good job in covering. And then all the other gaps that are going to be needed to fill in probably when connecting the wings and the tail surfaces will probably also have to go in blue, kind of from the functional perspective. As you see, I've put in the wings in plastic bags. I've put on masking tape and tissue wherever I could, and now the step is, if I hold it and I don't drop it, I bring up my painting box, which is nothing other than a box where I do painting. I take out whatever is inside, and now I have to see if I can squeeze this in. I don't know if you can see it actually. No, you can't actually see it. Let's see if I can put it in. It doesn't fit. And of course, trying to not break anything. Put the wings aside. You can't see this, and I'm struggling to see it myself. So, kind of like that. Yeah, you're not going to see this, right? Let's see. Let me tilt you up a little bit. You're not going to see it anyhow because it's going to go inside the box. Think inside the box, right? That's what we like to say. So anyhow, you can see it like that. There's the fuselage there. I'm going to try to do the bottom part first, the underside, and also I've got another thing that I want to do. I'm going to put on a glove so I don't need to wash my hands afterwards so much. I was also thinking, as I'm painting things, I might also try to paint the propeller, because the propeller is this kind of very squeaky orange, which I'm sure is good for drones and things like that, but it doesn't look so good on this. But anyhow, I'll probably break it on the first flight, but just to see if that actually works. So I'm coming with grey paint, same as on the wings, and I try to do at least two layers. Let's see if I can do it, and if I don't damage anything else around, like hopefully I don't get any paint on the wall, because that would spell trouble for me. So try to do it and this is also very smelly. I did shrink the tissue beforehand, and I think this will also help shrink a little bit. Let's see what it looks like, and then I'll also try the propeller. Propeller could actually have been in black, I suppose. I mean, these are cheap, so I'm not too worried. Like, if I ruin it, then not the end of the world, let's say like that. So there it is, and now let it set. I'll wait for a bit, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes or something, and then come back, do another layer, then come back and do the top part of the fuselage. You can't see anything. At least you can see there the fuselage sticking out a little bit, and once that is out, I'll show you before I go ahead with the blue stripe. Let's see what this ends up looking like. And here we are. I've just taken it out of the box. It's had like maybe 2 layers of the paint and clear lacquer. To be very honest, it doesn't look as good as I would have liked it to look. You see, it's very, very bumpy. I'm not sure if I should give it maybe another layer. I'm not sure. The bottom side, if I don't break anything, looks actually better. Maybe there I sprayed it on in a better way. Let's see if it focuses. But the top side is not really so good. So I'm thinking that I might put it back in the box and give it another layer of the paint. I'm hoping that it doesn't get too much and then too heavy. I hope it's not too heavy. But anyhow, the experiment does work. Then after, maybe I will do it. I'll put on another layer of the paint, and then I'll have to take off all the masking off, which is also a project kind of in itself. And then it'll be the blue stripe and the assembly and things like that. But I think I'll leave that for the next time, because this one is already dragging on quite a lot. So I'll put it back in the box, give it another douse of the grey silver paint, and hopefully it looks a little bit better than this, which looks not very aerodynamic, let's say it like that. But in any case, thank you everybody for watching and following along on these experiments of mine. Looking forward to your comments and recommendations, and I'll see you next time.